Hi, and welcome to Economics.ai. In this video, we'll look into the causes and effects of the inflation that hit America following the COVID-19 epidemic. The Fed's mission is basically twofold. First, get America working. Second, control inflation. COVID messed with inflation, requiring the Fed to take action. In this video, we'll take a look at how it all unfolded and ask the question, did the Fed do the right thing? We all know inflation means higher prices. But more precisely, inflation is a measure of the rate of increase in prices of goods and services. Inflation is measured by the Consumer Price Index, CPI. This tracks the prices of a basket of goods and services that are most commonly purchased by consumers. CPI is normally expressed as a percentage, with a rise in CPI generally signaling that prices are rising. Inflation in an economy can be due to a number of reasons, such as an increased demand for goods and services. When demand for goods and services increases and supply doesn't have time to keep up, prices will rise. This usually happens during periods of economic growth, but can also happen when people have more money to spend. Another reason for prices going up is if there's problems in the supply chain. For example, COVID disrupted a lot of supply chains when workers got sick or were on lockdown. To understand inflation, we need to look at two charts. First one is personal consumption expenditure, or PC. It measures consumption in the economy, specifically, goods and services targeted towards individuals and consumed by individuals. And the second one is personal savings. This is income left over after households spend and pay taxes. From Jan 2013 all the way to Feb 2020, PC shows a very stable, predictable pattern of modest increases. Then in March and April 2020, there's a massive drop in consumer spending. This is understandable, as lockdowns and fear of COVID and job security kept people from spending. Service-related items like restaurants and travel were hardest hit. Then from May 2020 to March 2021, consumer spending came roaring back with much bigger than normal monthly increases. Personal savings followed a very steady pattern from 2013 until 2019. But in Q2 2020, there's a massive spike in savings accumulation because lockdowns prevented people from spending, especially on dining, entertainment, and travel. Savings took a big dip in the next 2 quarters in 2020. Why? One possible reason could be people started spending again as the lockdowns eased. Another is maybe that either by choice or due to COVID, people experienced unemployment and reduced hours and were forced to dip into their savings to pay bills. When we overlay the savings chart with PC, the picture that emerges seems to support the big spending theory because consumption is also very elevated during these quarters. There's another big savings spike in Q1 of 2021, probably due to the second round of COVID payments that went out in December 2020. This is followed by 5 successive quarters of big declines in savings, all the way to Q2 2022. Again, what's the reason? Do people keep on spending? Then starting in Q3 2022, the savings rate returned to almost exactly the same as it was from 2013 to 2019. The PC chart also shows that spending habits had returned to normal, pre-2020 levels. Between March 2020 and March 2021, the government gave out a lot of money to try and prevent the economy from stalling. The first COVID relief package in March 2020 was the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security, or CARES Act. It provided payments of up to $1,200 per adult and $500 per child. Then, in December 2020, the second COVID Tax Relief Act gave out payments of $600 for adults and children. The American Rescue Plan Act in March 2021 provided payments of up to $1,400 for eligible individuals, plus $1,400 for each qualifying dependent, including adult dependents. A lot of people think that this flood of money is what fueled the surge in inflation. But let's consider the evidence. Demand spikes ended by Q1 2021, and even though they remained somewhat elevated till Jan 2023, they definitely returned to more normal levels from there. The last of the COVID payments was in March 2021, and inflation really became a concern starting from 2021 and continuing into 2022. Inflation started to pick up when savings were spiking in 2021, meaning consumers were not spending, but saving. The data seems to suggest it was not excessive demand that fueled inflation, but most probably a combination of supply problems in specific sectors and excessive profit-taking by companies. Both of these are temporary and certainly not fixable by central bank interest rate hikes. It's true that savings rates remain below normal during the period of rising inflation, but that could be due to workers worried about COVID not returning to work and drawing down their savings to live on. People were not spending extravagantly. The price of flat-screen TVs fell, but cornflakes rose. No one started eating 2 bowls of cornflakes every day. More evidence pointing to supply chain and profit-related inflation. What do you think? Are interest rate hikes the right answer for a bout of inflation that's not caused by overheating demand? Or do you think the Fed already raised rates too often and too much without fully understanding the root causes? Comment below and remember to like and subscribe.